everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to just show you how to play the little intro solo for Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. So this isn't too terribly difficult to play. It's a really nice melody. This is probably, I'm not a really big Pink Floyd fan. This is probably my favorite song by Pink Floyd. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so we're going to start off here on the second fret of the G string, and we're going to pick that and we're going to slide to the fourth fret, but you kind of want it to be a little staggered so you hear it when it goes across the third fret. Now I'm using my middle finger for this, and the reason being is because after that the next note is on the third fret of the B string, so that way my first finger is just ready to go for that. So we pick and slide it. So when we do, this is like kind of weird to count too. So it's like we rest on the downbeat of 1, and then this starts on the and of 1, but this is a 16th note, and then the third and fourth fret are the 32nd note. So it's like, I'm not even going to attempt to try to count this. You just really got to feel it. Now when we come here, this is a quarter note, and this is the downbeat of 2. Now we're going to go to the fifth fret of the B string, so keep your first finger where it is here on the third fret. And then we're going to go to the fourth fret of the B string, or excuse me, the G string with your second finger, and then back to this third fret of the B string, and that's why I want to keep your finger there. And then after that note, there's a very, very small rest. So there's like little rests just kind of sprinkled throughout this that basically just gives you just a second of time to transition to the next part. Okay, and then after that, we're going to move your hand down. So now your first finger is on the second fret of the G string, and your third finger is on the fourth fret. And we're going to pick 4 to 2 to the open, and then we follow that with the open D string. So far. Then we're going to do a slide from nowhere to the second fret of the A string, and follow that with 2 more open D strings. So that's the first 2 measures. Alright, so the third measure, this is probably the most difficult part of this. At least this has been my experience with students' private lessons that I've done this with. So what we're going to do is, it's a bunch of little double stops. So we're going to take your third finger, this is how I do, I feel this is the easiest way to do it, and put it here, bar it at the third fret across the B and high E string, and we're going to pick that and we're going to slide to the 5th fret. We want it to be like a slide from nowhere, but we're just starting at 3. So we start at 3, slide to 5, and then we immediately come back down to the first fret, and then do the same thing sliding to the 3rd fret. And then we're going to come to, so that's like the first part of it. So then we're going to do the same thing on the G and the B string, but now we have to be staggered a half step. So I like to do this with my second and third finger because so like here I'm on the third fret of the G string and the fourth fret of the B string, and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to slide from here up a half step, so we'll be on the end up on the fourth fret of the G string and the fifth fret of the B string. So you could use, you know, your first and second finger, but the reason I like to use these is since my middle, you know, your middle finger is longer than your third, it puts your hand in just kind of a more natural position. This works for me well. So we're going to do that slide from 3 and 4 to 4 and 5, and then we're going to come down and we're going to do it so we're on the second fret of the G string and the third fret of the B string. And then we have the open G string. So, and then we do that one again. Follow with the open G string and then the open G and B string. And that's on the fourth measure. And we just let that ring out for the whole measure. So that's like the first half of the whole riff. Okay, and then starting on the fifth measure, it's kind of like the first again. So we're going to start at the second fret of the G string, use my middle finger, and we're going to slide to the fourth fret, and follow that with the third fret of the B string, back to the fourth fret of the G, to the fifth fret of the B string. So again, that's why I want to use my middle finger here. Now, when we hit that 5 there, we let that ring out with a little vibrato. Then we're going to bend that and do a pull off back to the third fret. So we have bend, release, pull, back to the fourth fret of the G string, back to the third fret of the B string. And then starting on the next measure, right onto the second fret of the G string. Now we're going to we're going to go to the fourth fret of the G string. So if you keep your first finger here and then put your second finger on the third fret and then your third finger on the fourth fret, because we're going to do a bend, and it just makes it easier if you have these two fingers behind you. Then we're going to shift up 3 to 5 on the B string, back down to the same second through fourth fret on the G string, bend, and end on the second fret. So. Alright, and then moving on to the next measure, it's kind of like the beginning again, so we're going to do that 2 slide through 3 and 4 on the G string, to the third fret of the B string, back to the fourth fret of the G string, to the fifth fret of the B string. Now we're going to bend that fifth fret of the B string. We're going to bend that and release, bend, release, pull, back to the fifth fret, and then to the second fret of the G string, and then finally the fourth fret of the G string, bend and release, and end on that second fret of the G string. So the whole thing slowly. Alright, so as far as the timing with this, to make it line up with the you know, the like at the rhythm part of it. So if you a good way to practice this is when you put on the original track, it goes through that whole chord progression once, and then it goes through it again, and on the second time is when this lead comes in. So you can practice like playing with, in unison with the lead, to kind of help you to get the overall timing. And then you can practice playing it just by playing it from the beginning of the song where it just has the rhythm without the solo. So where you come in with this is you have like, so when you hear that, those are like your pickup notes to start playing the lead. And then you hear it again. And then it just goes right into the G and then goes into where the, you know, into like the verse of the song. All right, so there you have it, the little intro solo for Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Like I said, not too terribly tough to play, lots of good techniques to practice in there. Definitely easier to play it on an electric guitar than on an acoustic guitar, but they did it on the acoustic guitar, so that's the way I wanted to do it. So if you don't have an acoustic guitar, or if you're, you know, fairly new, or you have a piece of crap acoustic guitar that's really difficult to play or something, I don't know, you can play this on your electric and it sounds just fine. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.